Erev Tov, good evening. We're continuing with the reasons why we blow Shofar on Rosh Hashana. We already said the first 5 from Rabbeinu Gaon, and now we're going to mention the second 5. Number 6 that he gives is the one that we normally think of the most when we come to Rosh Hashana, and that is to remind us of Akedat Yitzhak. When Abraham Avinu brought Yitzhak, his son, to bind him in order to slaughter him and bring him as a sacrifice as God told him to, and that was his 10th test, as we know. However, what we do when we blow the shofar on Rosh Hashanah is we remind ourselves of the tremendous amount of mesirut nefesh, the concept of Yitzhak Avinu giving himself up completely for HaKadosh Baruch Hu at the will of his father, and we hope that we will also find a way in order to be moser nefesh ourselves as well to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, hopefully not by giving our lives, but living through those times when we have to commit ourselves to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So that is number 6. Number 7 is the very nature of when a shofar is blown is it causes trepidation, fear, gives us a feeling that we're not at ease. And the point is for the shofar to do that to us on purpose, in order to hasten our doing teshuvah, coming back to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So that is the 7th reason. The 8th reason is to remind us of Yom Hadin Hagadol, at the end of time. To some it's at the end of one's life, but there's also at the end of time before the Mashiach, there's going to be a final day of judgment. And on that day of judgment, the shofar is also blown. So while we blow the shofar on our mini day of judgment, it's our day of judgment for every single year, we also remember that we're living our lives towards that judgment that we hope is going to be a positive judgment by the end of time. Number 9 is the blowing of the shofar. We read in our Amidah every day, Tekab shofar gadol leherutenu, because what happens is right before the Mashiach, all of Bnei Israel is actually going to be brought close back to Eretz Israel. It's called Kibbutz Galuyot, bringing close all of those in exile. And that is done with the sounding of a shofar. So we sound the shofar on Rosh Hashanah, also alluding to one day that will come. And the final and the 10th reason why we blow shofar on Rosh Hashanah is also to remind us of Tihyat HaMitim, the resurrection of the dead. It is one of our basic principles, as the Rambam says, it's one of our 13 basic principles of belief. And when the time will come of the resurrection of the dead, it's going to be done alongside with the blowing of a shofar. So that's parents who passed away, grandparents, great-grandparents, all the way back. Everyone is going to be resurrected, those that have the merit in some way or fashion, everyone does. And the blowing of the shofar is what activates that resurrection. So on the Rosh Hashanah, we blow the shofar, alluding to that as well. So these are the 10 reasons why we blow shofar on Rosh Hashanah. And again, as we said, the blowing and the listening of the shofar on Rosh Hashanah is a Torah obligation to allude to all 10 of these reasons for us to come closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu on the day that we, as individuals, and the whole earth, as one great globe, is judged on Rosh Hashanah. May we have a positive judgment, a fruitful judgment, a successful judgment for ourselves and our families. Amen. Amen.